It's the end of an era. Warren Buffett, the GOAT when it comes to investing, is finally retiring when he'll be 95 years old. Warren is a man who believed in compound interest so much that he turned $10,000 at 19 years old into over $170 billion today. Give or take a few billion. Warren's wealth accumulation wasn't only due to the magic of compound interest, though. No, it was compound interest coupled with the ability he developed to invest intelligently. So what can we learn from Mr. Warren Buffett when it comes to investing? Let me share with you 10 lessons I applied from Warren to my own investing journey in the hopes that they'll help you too. The first thing is invest in what you know. You all have a friend who you've seen make a huge pile of money on a one-off risky investment, and you think, why can't that be me, right? Well, Buffett advises investors to stick with investments they understand. He says, stick to your knitting. This means investing in industries or companies that you're familiar with, rather than venturing into fields that are hard to comprehend. You didn't see Buffett betting his profits on private equity or crypto, did you? Heck, he never even bought an F1 team as an investment like other billionaires. So resist the temptation of diving into an opportunity and go with what you know. Number 2, look for a great deal. Think back to a time that you made an impulse buy only to find out a month later it was selling for half off retail. That never happened to Buffett because he never makes money or a move without ensuring that he's buying at the right price at the best time. You didn't see him chasing the Magnificent Seven at the peaks. In fact, he was selling at the peak. He unloaded a huge chunk of Apple in 2024, which leads to the next timeless truth: be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. Warren's most famous quote that everyone repeats is, buy the dip. Why? Because the dip signals that the masses are fearful and prices are low. Throughout his career, Warren has always capitalized on market volatility by buying when prices are low and everyone is scared, and then selling when prices are high and everyone is optimistic or greedy. Even when one said he was crazy for buying or selling, he was disciplined and stuck to his method at the expense of being called a contrarian or old-fashioned. Number 4, be wary of market predictions. Ever see those ads online that promise you that if you give them money, they'll tell you exactly when to buy and sell your investments? Or have you read articles from the big wirehouses that were so confident in their market predictions in January of every year, only to pretend that they never happened in December because they were so wrong? Well, we don't forget. Let's take a look at how wrong the experts were in 2023. You can see in the middle column where they thought the S&P 500 would end up. And in the far right column, you can see how off they were. In one case, Morgan Stanley was off a whopping 22%. As you can see, this is why Warren Buffett cautions against listening to the experts, which highlights his conviction because a guy like him is surrounded by the, quote, experts at every turn. He isn't a man who tries to time the market, which leads us to the next timeless truth. Number 5, maintain a long-term perspective. One of Buffett's most famous investment strategies is to invest for the long term. He often says his favorite holding period is forever. This is probably due to his investment experience back in 1941. At age 11, Buffett made his first stock market investment, buying 6 shares of Citi Service preferred stock at $38 per share. The stock dipped to $27, causing him to stress, but he held on until it reached $40, selling for a small profit. Shortly thereafter, it soared to over $200, teaching him the value of patience in investing. The childhood trauma was actually a good thing for him, as that lesson stuck with him and helped him invest this way into being one of the richest men in the world. He's a living example of how patience can yield significant rewards. This timeless truth tees us up for the next one. Number 6, the power of compounding. Think about your credit card for a moment. If you're paying interest on a purchase that you made 2 years ago, are you paying more for it or less? You're paying more. That's compound interest working against you. But it can also work for you, as it did for Buffett. Einstein once quipped, compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it, and he who doesn't pays it. And boy, did Warren understand it. Buffett attributes much of his success to the power of compound interest. Investing early and consistently can lead to significant wealth accumulation over time. But in order to have compound interest work for you, you need to develop this next timeless truth. Number 7, temperament is key. People are often quick to tell you how much they made in their investments, but what they won't tell you is the emotional roller coaster they went on during their investment journey. Have you ever lost $20? Were you mad about it? Don't lie, you were. Now imagine that $20 is thousands and thousands of dollars. When investing, it's easy to get overwhelmed with emotions, but just know that everyone experiences them, even Buffett. But he's learned that good investing doesn't just require intelligence, but also the right temperament. This means not being swayed by fear or greed, but rather making rational decisions. In his career, he's lived through many crashes and corrections, but he never lost his cool. By following his example, investors can learn a lot from Buffett's approach. His success is not just a testament to his investment strategy, but also to his discipline, his patience, and his continuous thirst for knowledge. Speaking of this thirst for knowledge, here's the next timeless truth. Number 8, the importance of reading. Buffett spends a significant part of every day reading. And I'm not talking about reading stock analysis threads by self-proclaimed gurus on X or crypto picks on Substack. He reads actual books from teachers who lived long ago. Staying informed and continuously learning is crucial in making intelligent investment decisions. Learn from the past to enrich yourself in the future. On the subject of the future, it seems today that the news is focused only on what's going to happen and trying to get you worried about things. Not for Warren, though, because the next timeless truth that he lives by is, most news is noise, not news. If you search the internet, you won't see any photos of Warren looking at his phone. Why? Because he tunes out the noise and he turns off the TV. He doesn't want anything to influence his decisions when it comes to investing, and neither should you. I know it's hard with your smartphones and a 24/7 news cycle, but seriously, stop paying attention to it. It will only stress you out and it will probably cause you to make a trading blunder. On the topic of trading blunders, here's the final timeless truth. Don't swim naked. Let's go back to 2021 and pretend that you wanted to look good naked. So you invested $10,000 in Peloton and bought one of their bikes to get buff. Everyone said it was a can't lose investment at $160 per share. Well, today, that stock is trading at just $6 per share. Why? Because Peloton was swimming naked by having an unsustainable debt structure. Warren Buffett has famously stated, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's been swimming naked. His statement highlights how adverse conditions, a falling tide, reveal the vulnerabilities of those who were taking excessive risks during times of prosperity. A remote workout was a great idea when everyone was locked in their house, but not so sustainable when people are free to go biking outside, right? Buffett's metaphor on swimming is a jab at the financial world, where companies that build unsustainable debt structures in good times may struggle to survive when interest rates rise or economic conditions worsen. There will only ever be one Warren Buffett. While it's unlikely that you'll ever match his success, you're fortunate enough to live at the same time as him. Why? Because it means that you can learn from his successes and his failures to become the best investor that you can be. While I covered 10 of the ones I liked, there are countless lessons to learn and apply from Buffett's 95-year life. So get out there and start learning about him and his masterful money moves. Thanks for watching. If you like learning about money moves, subscribe to the channel and share the video. Word of mouth really helps us grow. See you on the next one.